Yesterday, the results of the local government elections that were conducted on Saturday were announced, and it's been more of knocks than kudos for the conduct of the election. And you not only participated, but that's your state, and a lot of people are saying that your hands are showing, that we are seeing since Saturday. First, your quick comment first on the elections.
Okay, so if you ask me, because when you said my hand was showing, I wanted to know how my hand was showing.
People are wondering how it happens that the rainbow coalition between the APC and the PDP, how did that happen?
First of all, let me comment about the election. This morning, I sat down, I was watching comments, particularly channels. On Saturday, before I went out to vote, I also watched channels. Problem we had in this country is misinformation. It's not my fault that you refuse to do your work. I have seen media people who, if you want to go in this area, you go and do your researches. To be adequately informed, so that when you ask you questions, sometimes it beats my imagination when I see people on television. And these are people I should think that have done their investigative job, that they know they have carried out investigations, they now confront you with facts. I discovered that zero. First of all, you talk about legality of the election. It's most unfortunate. I believe that you have legal sections or legal departments who should be able to tell you what is this and what is that. I've said this severally. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. You see, it's illegal for an emergency rule to conduct an election.
But that is what the legal minds.
I'm coming now. Give me the opportunity. I will educate you. This one, I'm very versed in this one. Not a media work, no. I won't go take your job. Now, have you read about the emergency powers of 2004 that was signed by President Olusegun Obasanjo? What does it say? What does it say? The president has power to suspend or modify some sections of the law under emergency rule. Under the emergency rule, we can make regulation for the governance of the emergency areas. And the president had done that. We say, oh, it's illegal for the emergency government to conduct, but we accept military rule to conduct election for us. Military rule is an aberration. That's unknown to law. We will accept military rule conducting an election for democratically elected people.
Because the military rule at that time was the de facto government.
Why not wait? Why not wait now? Just wait. First of all, is military rule an aberration or not?
Just in a democracy.
To 1999. Are you referring to 1999?
I'm coming. All I just asked you a simple question. Is military rule an aberration?
In a democracy,
the
it should
be. Is only sustained because of the suspension of the Constitution.
Fine. Now, under emergency rule, what does it say? What does the law say? You know that under the emergency rule, the suspension of certain provisions of the law.
Constitution.
I've said this severally. Now, you are talking about the president to leave the emergency rule by 18th of September, where the governor will come back and the state legislature will come back. And then there's no democracy. predictor. Remember, the president did not declare emergency rule in the local government. It was the Supreme Court that set aside the election, that the election was not valid. And you also remember that the Supreme Court before now said that there shouldn't be any caretaker committee at the local government level. And also, if the local government level is not democratically elected, they cannot access funds for the federation account. That is correct? Is that not correct?
Very well.
Fine. So the president did not nullify the local government election. It was the court that nullified the local government election. Now, I'm coming. It was this emergency rule that gave president the power, the access to even say they should access funds for the federation account. That's why civil servants are being paid. Assuming that did not happen, what we have said today about local government council, where workers are not being paid because they cannot access money for the federation account. Also remember that because of this emergency rule, that the states were able to access funds from the federation account. Supreme Court has said there was no budget, and therefore state government cannot access funds for the federation account.
Your Excellency.
No, can I finish?
Okay, go on.
Can I finish? So I let the public have the benefit of understanding and even appreciate the president for what he has done. Now, if this election is not conducted, and then the governor comes in, the state legislature comes in, right? In that case, how would local government access funds when there's no democratically elected government? How would they access funds to federation account? How would the civil servant be paid? What would then be the fate of the grassroots level? You have crisis. You have crisis. And then the president now said, look, by the regulations has made, you are therefore to conduct elections. Some people say, oh, the electoral act said 90 days, 150 days. They forget that the president has power to suspend some sections, and which he did by the regulation he passed or he made. And why should it be that each time it's only in this part of the world? You are not a lawyer. By any act that has happened, you become a lawyer. You are not a judge who is given the responsibility for interpretation of the Constitution, our laws. You make yourself a judge. And you have not taken steps to challenge this. I thought, as people who are civilized, who want the rule of law, who want the law to grow, I will tell our party, my party, challenge this in court. This is not going to be allowed. Just like what we did when we conducted or trying to conduct election. We went to court and said, court, no. They have not followed the provisions of the electoral act and the Constitution, therefore they cannot conduct this election. The court gave judgment, saying, yes, you are right. It was in the media houses where they are showing that this judge is corrupt. He took money. He did this. He did that.
But it's not.
No, I am coming. I will not allow you to interject us. I will not agree. The world must hear. The world must hear the truth. And that's what we owe the public. When Justice Lifu of the Federal High Court gave that judgment, it was all over everywhere that he took bribe. He did this and that. So they were screwing it. The bar. AIT was screwing it. Arrive was screwing it. The matter went to a Court of Appeal. Court of Appeal set aside the judgment of the Federal High Court. You also came out and said, oh, now the law has taken place. Then people want to appeal to Supreme Court. Supreme Court said, no. The Federal High Court was right. The Court of Appeal, you were wrong. See. It was based on that judgment, all of you now are interpreting the number of days that ought to be given by RISEC. And they said, look, that, who appointed that the administrator has no right to appoint RISEC? Rubbish. The emergency law, the administrator, is on behalf of the president. The president even submitted the names of members of RISEC to National Assembly. Remember, under emergency rule, now there is no state assembly, the National Assembly takes over. And that's why the National Assembly had to pass the budget of the state, of the River State government. And which is why the state administrator is the one now presiding over that budget. Nobody argued that why should National Assembly pass the budget of the state? Nobody. It was the National Assembly that approved and screened and approved the nomination by Mr. President of members of RISEC.
Which wasn't without controversy.
Which wasn't without controversy. Controversy how?
The screening of the National Assembly, but let us, I digress.
No, you brought it up.
Yes.
Let the public know the controversy of the chairman.
Of the chairman?
You see, that is the problem we have in this country.
Wasn't there controversy on the National Assembly?
Let me tell you, if you create a controversy on your own, does not mean there's a controversy. What's the controversy? That the president is nominating somebody, a Nigerian,
who is not an indigene of that state.
What is indigenship? Who will they appoint in River State now to be the chairman of River State Independent Electoral Commission? That you will not say that is biased, that are attached to this group or that group. No, tell me, you want to bring St. Atedopi aside to be the chairman? Who will you bring? There's no link to Wike or no link to this person. Now the president is wisdom to make sure at least we should have people who are a bit independent. Okay, chairman, let me go outside. Somebody who's not attached to anybody in the state. The issue of indigenship. And that, why not say who will do the work? And we are talking about controversy. What is the controversy? Somebody from the south,